Now, my next job is to convince you that you can be a net player. You can go to the net. If you have a good fundamental volley and you practice it and you have a good stroke, anyone can go to the net. I hear all kinds of arguments. I'm not fast enough. I don't have a volley. It's terrifying. I know. It's scary being up there. Something's going to happen. But the best way to play tennis is to get two people up at the net forming a wall. It's very simple. Up at the net, if you can get a volley from 3 feet from the net, your tennis court becomes so much significantly bigger than when you're back at the baseline. So you can put balls away. Number two, your opponents can really only go over your head. They can hit a very small target back there to hit a winner. They could maybe hit the lines on the alleys to hit a winner. But you take off the fattest part of the court, the big middle part of the court. You reduce their tennis court. So your court becomes bigger, your opponent's court becomes smaller. But really the most important reason, pressure. Pressure. It puts your opponent in a place of feeling pressured. Statistical analysis. If you do a lot of match charting and you go and you look at tennis, you look at winners, you look at unforced errors, there's only a couple ways a point can end. A winner, your opponent comes and they just hit a ball too good and you can't get it or touch it. And we're also going to lump in there forced errors. They hit a shot so hard and good that you get your racket on it but you still miss it. That's one way a point can end. What's the other way? Unforced error. They just miss. They're on balance and they have time and they just miss. If you go to a pro level event right now, go to a challenger, usually guys around, anywhere from 80 to 200 in the world in challengers, and you chart matches, and you chart every winner they hit and every unforced error they hit, I would be willing to bet a large sum of money that if you went and you charted every match at that challenger tournament, that you would chart more unforced errors than winners or forced errors. So the reality of tennis, you do not win tennis matches by hitting winners. You don't. You win tennis matches by pressuring your opponent, getting him to create errors, putting yourself in position, hopefully, to where eventually you can hit a winner. But that usually doesn't get that far. Usually they will miss before that. So getting two people up at the net, putting your opponent in the back of the brain, making them feel a little pressure, you won't believe how many winners you won't believe how many errors you get out of your opponent. So if you could do things that make your opponent uncomfortable, we're gonna talk about poaching today and the role of the partner or the server. Just being a maniac up there. You get so many errors. That's gonna be a theme. There's gonna be a couple themes today. One of them is getting to the net. You just gotta believe it. You gotta believe it. We'll show you how to handle low volleys. That's one of the arguments they have. Oh, they're always at my feet. Yeah, well, all right, a half volley. How do you hit a half volley? First off, the ball's coming much steeper off the ground, so you got to hood your racket. Because the ball coming down into your racket comes differently than a ball coming up into your racket. But you can hit half volleys hard with very little swing. You just hood your racket, the ball comes in, and you just hit a hard, deep half volley. Nothing wrong with that. Low volley, same thing. As long as you're not coming at the low volley like this, and you're just setting your racket to the right angle, moving through it and lifting back up where the ball came from. You can have a great low volley. We're going to go over all of that. But just trust me, get to the net. You will get better at it, I promise. But the only way to get good at it is to do it. You got to do it, especially if you're only a match player and you don't really do training. That's okay, but just do it. I don't want to disappoint my partner. Just do it. Just do it. And you'll get better at it. You just blame it on me. Like, yeah, that tennis pro at RTC said I had to. I'm like, sorry. Just do it. Go to the net. I think when you go to national tournaments, you'll see, even at the lowest levels, the 3.0s, the 2.5s, the lower leveled tournaments, they're still winning going to the net. The best teams, which will probably get bumped up, they'll get bumped up to 4.0 the next year, but they're going to the net, I promise. That's how you win doubles.